Hello, Mary. So this is going to be a quick little book review, and I am headed out the door, so it has to be a quick one. Not as quick as I can get it since I'm a blubbering. And the book I want to review is Seasons of the Sacred Earth by Cliff Seruntine. And what this is, it's a book about the basically the neo-pagan seasons, and basically they are based on uh, older pagan traditions and basically how to live according to the seasons of the year. And it contains rituals, it contains various activities one can do, it contains lore, and it contains stories all pertaining to the various seasons. Because within witchcraft, modern witchcraft, and also several older traditions, it is believed that if one lives in tune with the seasons of the earth, one can attune to the powers that grant magic. One can attune to the magical cycles of the world. So yes, let's just have a look at the contents of this book. It has maps of Twa Harby's How. That's introduction thing. October, He Who Walks Among the Trees. Samhain, the silently moving people, traditional living, and making for the ancient Scots divinatory beverage. That's an interesting article. If you want to do divinations with your alcohol. Um, November, Little Spirits. December, Cottage Magic. That's an also a pretty good chapter. Traditional living, animal talk, or the adventures of a little lady and a big goat. January, stay at home time. Imbolc, promises of Imbolc. Traditional living and growing the herb. Creating organic gardens for health and spirit. February, the Elfwood. March, Totemic. Traditional living, the kitchen rich secret. Herbs for health and hope. April, the Fairfolk. Beltane, the Earth Folk. Traditional living, fairy slates an old way to honor the good folk. May, the Stag and the Doe. Uh, June, Firefly Night, traditional living in the kitchen with secrets in both milk and cheese. July, the Green Man's Way. Lugnasa, Harvest Fire, traditional living a concert of owls, immersing in nature by night. August, the Coyote Tale. September, The Way, traditional living, harvest cider, a taste of the land. And conclusion, Into the Green. Basically, um, what it is, it's the author basically lives on this cute little homestead, and he basically writes about life on this homestead following the ancient ways. And that's actually makes a pretty interesting reading. And I do think that we have lost something in our urban environment when we have stopped living off the land, and more importantly, stopped living with the land. And this really gives a lot of ideas. And I do think that while this book is definitely, it's easier to follow the advice in this book if you live close to nature, if you live sort of similar to what the author does. But there are also a lot of uh, ritual recipes and things that you can do that's described in this book that you can do no matter where you live. And I really like this book. It helps you get um, a deeper appreciation for the seasons of nature. There's a lot of books out there that gives you, here's a Sabbath ritual. This is what the various parts of the ritual mean. Do it. Pump, pump, pump. This book won't do that. Well, there are some rituals in here. Mostly what it does, though, it explains the lore. It explains how this person celebrates the cycle of nature in his own way, and that's very interesting. So yeah, let's see how big this book is. Yes, I have to do that every time I review a book. It's an Asperger thing. Sorry. It's 316 pages, so it's a pretty decent length to it. And there are pictures in here, mostly of cute animals. And yeah, I think some of the stories in here can be a little bit drawn out and boring. It's not my kind of literature, but all in all, I think this is a pretty good book. And now, is this going to be able to replace your various books on the Sabbath? No, it won't, because basically this doesn't so much tell you this is what the Sabbath is, this is what the Sabbath do. This more tells you how to live that every day instead of focusing it all in one ritual. And the reason why I got this book is because since I had that discussion with people on the pagan perspective on immortalism and celebrating the Sabbath, I've been very much interested in making Sabbath rituals for myself that do not so much tie into the concept of life, death, and rebirth. And I think this is a very good source book for that. I think this is a very good source book for anyone who are interested in basically knowing more about the cycles of nature, both the lore of it and how to become friends with it. Because really, this is about a man who lives with nature. Nature is his constant companion through the year. And what he eats, what he do, and so on follow these cycles as it has to on a little homestead like that. Now, if I'm going to complain about anything on this book other than that the stories can be a bit boring, is that this is produced by Llewellyn, and some books they have this sort of velvety feel to the paper. It won't pick up on camera, just trust me. And it sort of feels sticky. It's like I want to wear gloves when I read it. I don't know why Llewellyn do this. Pisses me off. But other than that, really, I can't complain. So basically, the book is very much part of, on, like for example, here we have a chapter on Samhain. So the bigger celebrations get their own chapters. Other than that, you have months have their own chapters. And we have some traditional picture of some traditional dishes. I mean, really, this is just a very nice book. It's not a book that kept me hooked. I have to turn the next page. I have to turn the next page. But I mean, uh, it's a very interesting book, and reading it a little by little, it's a what should I call it? A cozy book. It it fills me with hope and enthusiasm for nature, and I mean, I've long been talking about I want to have just a little herb garden out here, get some crates and grow some herbs out on my porch. And now I really want to do that. It fills me with an enthusiasm for getting to know nature better, and that is pretty good. The book is well written. The stories aren't the best, um, but the practical information is very well presented. The pictures are nice and cozy. The book is a nice length. There's a lot of good information here, recipes, funny little things like that, divination beverage thing. So yeah, I recommend this book. Again, this isn't a book I would say is a must-have. you absolutely have to have this to complete your pagan library, but it's definitely not a bad book to get. And also, I think this would be a great gift book because, I mean, it's not your typical witchcraft book. It's a book about living in tune with nature, seeing the magic in that. And as such, I think that it could fit anyone, whatever or not they're pagan or not. So I think this would be a great book to to give somebody as a gift. It's a great book to read in bed when you can't sleep because really it's not a book that needs you to have your brain in full motion to absorb all this information. It just cozy little stories, cozy little recipes, cozy little rituals, uh, interesting little facts, and yeah, I think it's pretty good. It does its job. It helps you get a deeper relationship with nature. It teaches you something, while at the same time being quite entertaining. So yeah, I approve of this book. And that's my review of Seasons of the Sacred Earth by Cliff Seruntine. I'm not sure how it is pronounced. Yeah, I'll give this book 7.5 out of 10. It's not exceptional, but it's good, and I do recommend it, especially if you can find it fairly cheap. But this is also a book that I would pay full price for, and I did pay full price for. So yeah, I think it's a good book, not an exceptional book, but a pretty good one. So yeah, sorry that's my phone. I have to go. Goodbye. Blessed be.